Welcome to episode 3 of the Sober Stretch, the podcast for any ex-rechead, current rechead, anyone that struggles with alcohol abuse and anything that comes with it. I'm Gary, and my mate Craig is going to tell you what we're talking about today.
Cool. So today we thought we'd mix it up a little bit because I don't think it's been doom and gloom as such, but we have spoke about the negative things about alcohol and all the bad shit basically. So what we're going to do is talk about the good stuff. So the stuff that you've got to look forward to when you make it basically, or when you quit alcohol. Because there is a lot of good shit that does come. Well, there is so much good stuff that comes off the back of not drinking.
Yeah, for real, man. Absolutely.
Obviously, life, alcohol stops you from doing so much shit, doesn't it? I keep saying shit. It stops you from doing so much, and I almost think that, I think I said this before, but I never wanted to do anything unless it involved alcohol. I just thought it would be boring, so I wouldn't attend. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I completely relate to that. I couldn't possibly, I think we've both said it before, couldn't entertain the idea of going to any social event if there wasn't drink, or if people were doing something nice for the day, But we're allowed to drink. I don't know, but my mates would be like, "Oh God, do you really have to drink?" We're like, "Well, all right, well, I won't come then."
yeah. You'll have a shit one anyway.
Yeah, right. But I agree. Like, it's almost all good, because even when you realize when you're sober, you're like, "Oh shit, life's hard." Anyway, at least you're still able to deal with it in a much better way. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it's pretty much all good once you get over a certain point. What's one thing? Because obviously, like, you're much more recent than me. For anyone that's not listened to us before, I'm 10 years sober. Craig's nearly 2. What's like jumping out at the start of your journey now that makes you feel, yeah, man, that kind of vibe?
So I'm quite a simple person, so simple things will make me happy, or simple things will please me. So the fact that I can exercise without feeling as if I'm gonna have a fucking heart attack is a huge thing. I'm nervous. A huge thing for me. The fact that I can just go running when I want, go to the gym, I play football again, and before I couldn't do none of that. I think I played 5-a-side, and milk turned quicker than me on the ball. Honestly, it was that bad. It was just embarrassing. So the fact that I can exercise is just one of many things that I think, yeah, this is fucking decent again.
Yeah, and I think exercise is one of those things. If you've got a problem, it's one of the first things that gets neglected, because there's a lot of people like to start the day with their Instagram cold shower and their fucking ice bath in the garden and all that. And I do, I do get that, and I respect it, and I would like to be more like that. But if you've been on the piss, your mornings are written off, absolute guaranteed write off. There is no going to the gym at 6 in the morning when they're still at the afters. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a gift to be able to exercise. I'm not like super exercisey, for want of a better word, but related to what you said, I like lifting the covers in bed and looking down and be able to turn and not just see a big fat lump. And it just makes me. I've put a bit of weight on since I became a dad, but like I was skinny. I was well skinny for a lot of my first part of my sobriety, and I just used to look down and go, "Wow, hips."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
bony parts of my body, because I've just been walking. Yeah, like such simple little things.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize when I was drinking that I missed, or I wanted those things, because I didn't care.
No, I think when you're drinking, you sort of just, for me anyway, I just sort of didn't give a fuck about anything. I didn't care about my health. I didn't care about what I looked like. I didn't care about what I was achieving. I did not give a fuck about anything. When you start achieving things, it's a bit of a pat on the back, really, isn't it?
Yeah, for real. And then it snowballs, doesn't it? And you start to go, oh, I want more of this.
Yeah,
And that helps with the determination to stay sober. Definitely, definitely. It's all like,
exactly.
we've spoken about momentum before, but it's all about that. And now, I mean, look at you. I mean, you quote, "I was a fat fuck."
Why are you calling
um,
me that? Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah,
and now you make a living out of fitness.
yeah, yeah. There's no doubt about it. I don't see the point in sugarcoating it. I was a fat fuck, and it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I had a bad time and I put on weight because of this, that, and the other. I was a fat twat. I used to drink loads. I used to drink my body weight in booze and eat takeaways every day. So
Yeah.
what do you expect? Do you know what I mean?
Well, quite. Yeah. What are you expecting? Do you want to be like, just you're on a hide into nothing, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not going to sit and grovel and be like, oh, life's so unfair whilst I'm smashing a large dominoes. Do you know what I mean?
No, and exactly, because we've spoken about not only being like fat, but also pathetic and pitying, self-pitying, and it's just not going to get you anywhere if
No.
if you still got that self-pity mentality, which I think a lot of people drinking have, lose it fast. And that's not to say that we're like model citizens now, but I realized when I got sober just how moany I was about everything.
Yeah,
You
it's a
know?
drain, isn't it? And you couldn't imagine wanting to be around that person who's being a drip all the time, complaining about life, because it brings other people down as well. So people are going to be like, fuck hanging around with Gary, he's a miserable bastard.
Yeah, yeah. He's either pissed and volatile or he's like
Yeah,
hungover and wants to kill himself.
yeah,
And I felt like that some mornings were like,
yeah.
oh God, what is the point of carrying on?
Yeah,
But
you perk up, don't you, when you have a couple of beers and you're like this happy chappy and that, and you think you're the muts nuts, whatever. Well, this is I'm describing myself, kind of.
Mhm.
And then people don't see you when you're hungover, rolling around in bed, like just rotting away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but you say about the exercise for yourself. Like I know exercise isn't your like you're not as big on it as me, but I guarantee still going to the park with the kids and stuff like that. If you have I don't know if you have a kick about with your kids or whatnot, but you later imagine you wouldn't be able to do nothing.
No, God, no. I'd be in no state to do a goddamn thing. I think for me, a lot when I got sober, I walked like buggery. Obviously, as I've said a million times before, I lived in Spain, so it was nice weather. So if I could walk 50 minutes to work, I would walk it, and I would
Yeah,
like start to like rebuild my confidence, thinking and walking in the mornings. And that's nearly 2 hours of pounding the streets every day.
yeah,
And yeah, I think fatherhood's slowed me down a bit just because of lack of time. But I mean, I was when I came back from Spain. I'm 6'3" and I was 11. I was just under 12 stone. Too skinny, really, but I'd eat and eat and eat. But I was just walking so much I couldn't put any weight on,
yeah,
because I was able to walk. I used to look at my like Google Map thing on a Monday morning, and on a Saturday, I'd done like 18 kilometers just walking around town and then up to the park and then go like down to the beach, whatever. Yeah, it's wild, man.
yeah. It's a
So
lot
like
more.
exercise has been your number one thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I wouldn't say. Yeah, I probably would say number one actually, but
yeah,
in no order. It's one simple thing that doesn't cost money, and I like to do it. But it's
yeah.
one of many. Yeah. What about yourself?
Oh, mate. I mean, my life's unrecognizable. I just watched um, oh, a reel that I did. I think it was the second or third reel I did on my Instagram, and it was called 27 things. No, 27 amazing things that have happened to me since I got sober.
Yeah.
And I just watched it to remind myself. And like number 14 was became a Premier League football commentator. I, I mean, well, for a start, I'll explain how that happened because it does
Yeah.
sound like far-fetched bollocks, but
Yeah. Fuck it. Am I talking to Martin Tyler?
it's live with the sober stretch. Um, uh, no, so I saw an ad about 3 years ago in a paper about being a football commentator for the Premier League and for an app, like an online app. Well, online. Of course, it's online. And I don't know if either of you have heard of Flash Score. Either of you, anyone that's listening. God, man, I'm tired as fuck, man. I've been at work all week. Either of you, so I'm
Yeah,
pissed. Like there's two
you
of you
still get
sitting.
tired. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
flash scores, I know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I commentated for them, and for 2 seasons,
Oh,
and I did various things: Premier League, German League. I did the German Der Klassiker, the final game of the season between Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund.
unreal.
So yeah, mate, which decided Bayern's 10th win on the bounce of the
Yeah,
league. So I was getting big games after like 6 months because I was good at it because I could focus and I could like apply myself and I could do spreadsheets with information on players because I wasn't in the pub all day.
yeah,
Just the amount of time. So that was one standout thing that I thought, God, I would never have been able to do that if I was still on the piss. And it was a Saturday, obviously, commentating
yeah,
Saturday. Like
yeah.
I wouldn't have applied for that. Honest to
No,
God, I wouldn't have even applied for
no,
a
no.
job like that because I thought it might have
Flashed your drink.
impinged on my clash with my drinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It would have clashed with my drinking.
Imagine your pronunciation of some of the surnames if you were still drinking.
Ah, I remember I did Olympiacos. Who were they playing? Atalanta in the quarterfinals of the Europa League, and I looked down at the Olympiacos team sheet, like
Yeah,
Papadopoulos. There was a guy that Socrates, the guy that played for Arsenal at centre half, and I thought I'm not going to be able to pronounce him. Luckily, I did languages at uni, so I'm okay at that. But if I'd been pissed, I'd have been stumbling over like I don't know
yeah,
Chris Wood, you know.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So that was a good thing, man. That
That's
was something that sticks in my mind.
yeah, that's like what dreams are what dreams are made of. Really, that's pretty buzzing.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
I'm
I
not
mean, it
gonna.
wasn't well paid, and in the end, I stopped doing it because it was kind of inconvenient because I couldn't shout at night when I was doing night games because I wake the kids up. So it just petered out really. But it was something cool, man. That
Yeah,
I'd sorted my shit out enough to be able to do.
yeah, like you said, that wouldn't have even crossed your mind to do if you was drinking. You'd just be like, no, it can't happen. That's amazing.
So,
Another thing for me as well, while it's in my head, is my relationship with my family.
mm,
My brother has got 3 kids, and I don't know what it is. It's not like I've never not loved them or anything like that, but I was just the shittest uncle in the world. I would never make time to go around there because obviously the free time that they had would be on the weekends, and I'd be no good to no man.
mm.
So since obviously being sober, I try and make sure that I see them at least every other weekend or every weekend. And I don't know, it's as if like you appreciate family so much more. It's unbelievable because you think that they're just on your back all the time, like because you're pissed all the time and they want you to do better, and then eventually they will end up just giving up on you because you're a waster and they're bored of trying and trying and trying. So yeah, that's a huge thing for me as well.
I mean, that's amazing to become, a deep part of people's lives because you're not a selfish cunt anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To put it straight, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was a selfish cunt. I'd put drink before everything, any relationship, anything,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I felt as if I needed it
Mm-hmm.
and nothing
Yeah.
else mattered.
Priority number one. We've said before, I think it was on our first episode or maybe on the live that we did when we first got to know each other, that £5 left in the world, empty cupboards for food. Where's that £5 going? It's going on booze and you're
No
just going to go
brainer.
hungry. Do you
No
remember that?
brainer. Three big bottles of Heineken from one stop. 3 for a fiver.
Oh, God, honest to God. I sometimes wonder how we are in different parts of the country because I do wonder if you're actually in my body and you're me. It's weird. It's fucking mental. One stop. God, that brings it back.
Yeah,
Luckily, I
no,
don't have one of them near me now.
PTSD's coming back.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's amazing. I mean, like, because imagine you'd carried on drinking until you were in your 40s and your nephews became your all nephews, did you say?
Nephew's a niece, but
Yeah.
she's a baby, so she ain't got
Yeah.
boobies.
and they get to their teens and they don't really know their uncle.
It's sad, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fucking sad. And they're not even my kids, but imagine if it was your own kids. It's even more, I suppose, even more of a bigger thing. So if you've got kids and you change your life for your kids, that's I mean, there's words probably can't describe that feeling. You didn't have kids before, did you?
No, I've been sober the whole time as a dad,
Yeah,
which is a good job. And
yeah, mate. Yeah,
I do often wonder if I would have, if I'd had a kid, a child, excuse me, younger, whether it would have been the catalyst to sort my life out. But I really am not. I'm not convinced that that would have been the case. I think I'd have been in turmoil and done everything I could, but I think it would have been a battle that I could easily have lost.
yeah.
You know.
Because of the stress as well that comes with children, it could have made you worse. Do you know what I mean?
Who
If you
knows?
kept sleep, because you might be like, oh, I can't fucking sleep, blah blah blah, stress, stress, stress. Few beers, straight to sleep.
Yeah, yeah. But a few's never enough, is it?
Nah. I say few. My few, and I'm sure your few, could easily be 6, 7, 8 beers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Exactly that. I mean, it would annoy if I had a fiver left in the world. I'd be pissed off that I didn't have enough to like be enough.
Yeah, yeah. It's like choosing your weapon of choice. What's going to get me the most fucked for a fiver?
Yes, exactly that. Yeah. What
So,
was it you and I think we did an Instagram story about that. What was that shit that you used to drink? Indian, no, tonic something.
oh, fuck. Magnums.
I don't, when you
Magnum.
told me, I was like, "What? You're fucking
Yeah,
putting
mate.
booze in ice cream?" I was like, "What's
Yeah.
the other one?"
It was perfect because I would drink it at work, and because it was a small bottle, like that big, it would just easily slip into my pocket. Do you know what I mean? So it was on my hip, and it was it just got me fucked, which was ideal to get me
Yeah,
through work.
unbelievable, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Fucking
The guy in the shop actually used to call me Magnum Man. No joke.
oh god,
um, yeah, mate. So
that's hilarious.
fun
It's
times.
pathetically
Yeah,
hilarious.
it is pathetic. Yeah. What's another thing for you then?
Um, I mean, having enough money to, not a lot of money, but having enough money to do some of the things that I wanted to do at the weekends and on holidays,
Yeah.
because every penny went on booze. Not that I earned, but that I borrowed off Wonga.com and all the other horrible
Yeah.
payday
Yeah.
loan companies that made my life torture, chasing me for it for the best part of 6 or 7 years.
Mm.
I just was like, oh wow, I can go to Morocco for the weekend.
Yeah.
And then I'd go and I'd look at people in the hostels like floating around and be like, wow, you fuckers like have been always doing this. And I felt like a little boy in my 30s, like, oh, I'm traveling, backpacking
Yeah.
without beers in the bag. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just having like a little bit of disposable income to do nice things for myself, you know?
Yeah. No, definitely. Money's obviously people have different views on money, but it's not everything. Far from it, but it does certainly give you freedom. And when you can't, it's mad to think that you can go on a holiday to Morocco. Yeah, I could have spent that money in a weekend easily down the same pub,
Yeah, easy.
easy. Um, so it is crazy what you can save when you're not drinking because it's fucking pricey. Like a fiver a pint is a good price unless you're going to spoons, then it's
Mm,
fucking cheap. But fiver a pint, I think I was doing probably. I would never do less than 50 quid a night, and we're talking midweek as well.
yeah. Yeah, that's when it gets messy, when the midweek money spending gets out of control.
Yeah,
Because I was a sit in the pub of my own kind of person, and then I remember one particular place I lived in London. I got really pally with all the other drunks in the pub, you know, like that were there every night because they all were alcoholics. And when you're going down to the pub every night, I mean, unless you're making a lot of money, you can't manage that. It's just not possible. And I want to do an episode on the financial side.
Yeah.
We've not, you and I haven't even spoken about and anything like that, but I'm sure you'll relate to my story. The money stress was unbearable.
Yeah. But what's different for me is my thought process was literally, I don't give a fuck. I had CCJs that I'm still, well, paid off now, but they'll be on my credit file for 5, 6 years, whatever. But I didn't give a fuck. CCJs coming out my ear holes. I did not give a fuck because
Yeah, I did.
my mentality was, well, you can't take it with you, can you? And I just thought, fuck it. What's going to happen? I don't own nothing. What, the debt collectors are going to come around my house and steal a few of my empty cans? Do you know what I mean?
We're going to take you to the cleaners here. Remove all of these magnums.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they would have been gone.
fucking hell. Yeah, I didn't have that attitude. I had this like crippling fear of because my credit rating was wrecked. Same as the CCJ thing, hard relate, and I cared, and it stressed me out because I thought if I ever do get my shit together, it's gonna hang around and linger.
Yeah,
The quicker you get sober, the quicker you nip all that shit in the bud. You know,
yeah,
it's so yeah. For me, money, the relief of deep, intense money worries
yeah,
was very welcome after because I think that was slowly killing me.
yeah, yeah.
Blood pressure, not good on the heart, all that stress.
Nah, not good for the hair follicles. Do you know what I mean?
No, mate,
You'd be bald as fuck by now.
mate,
Look up
God.
to Mitchell.
Yeah, I remember one night, I fell asleep on the sofa at about 10 o'clock watching some golf tournament with my mate, and I woke up and I was shit faced, and I'd lost basically the last 400 quid of the month's wages on a golf bet.
Oh,
I mean, like,
it can't lose. It's a
I,
banker. Yeah,
I can't lose. There's only 280 guys in one tournament. I'm bound
400. That's a big bet.
400.
Fucking
Yeah.
hell.
I don't remember, mate. I know it was on Adam Scott, the Australian. I remember that much, but I don't remember. Um, I don't remember placing the bet. I've got no recollection of that. Like,
What? And you woke up in the morning and then checked your bank and realised is that what happened?
no, no. I woke up on the sofa. I remember it vividly, because I always used to get a curry on a Sunday night, just so
Fuck.
And I just remember waking up with a stench of jalfrezi and the
Fucking
and
hell.
the lingering misery of utter abject poverty.
Yeah,
But I remember looking at my Betfair account and I worked out because Betfair is a bit more complicated than the other ones.
yeah.
And I just remember realizing what I'd lost, and I was me skint again for another 2 weeks, and I wasn't going to be able to eat. Not
Yeah,
being able
bro.
to eat, you know. Oh, great! I'm supposed to go and see
Yeah.
a band next week, and I can't even get the train or the bus. You know
Yeah,
what I
man.
mean? You know what I'm talking about, don't you? That kind
Yeah,
of
that's why I'm laughing so much because
yeah.
I've done it myself. It's just so funny. Why would you be so stupid and foolish to put your last 400 quid without without thinking about the repercussions?
I know.
It's
But alcohol, the
fucking
inhibitions, the inhibitions just vanish, don't they? Like, oh well, he's obviously going to win, and then he'll have 2.5 grand. So, like,
yeah, 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 man. Yeah, that's cracked me up. That's funny as fuck.
oh god. But I
I
remember, like, I remember one morning waking up and me and my mate had won like I don't know 900 quid on William Hill on the roulette on the online roulette thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Because this is a funny story. Because in the first two episodes we've been kind of like stick to the topic, but it's good. It's nice to go off on tangents. I remember coming back from my parents one weekend, and I lived near Brixton, and I walked into my apartment, and my flatmate, my best mate, was sitting there, and he had like loads of empty. He was a piss artist as well, loads of empty cans of Grolsch, and just like the whole house stank of Benson and Hedges. And I walked in about 9 o'clock Sunday. I was knackered. I'd got taken the train down from Manchester, and I walked in and he just put his head over his shoulder and he was gambling on the William Hill roulette thing and he was like, "Yo, bro, I'm 80 quid up. Let's put 50 quid in this and we'll carry on now and we'll just split any winnings. Not like share the defeat, like positive
Yeah,
mental
yeah,
attitude."
positive
And
mental attitude.
he's like, "Dude, there's a Grolsch in the fridge," and him and I just sat up till about 5 o'clock in the morning. Listen to this, right? I was supposed to be in Gloucestershire at 9 a.m. to run a really important furniture installation project worth about £500,000, and I didn't wake up till like midday the next day.
Oh,
Or the
yeah,
same day, obviously, and that kind of Monday hell. And we'd won loads of cash, and we went. So once he was brilliant at being my, stop me jumping off a bridge on a Monday kind of
yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah.
So we went down to Barclays, and he got 800 quid out of his bank, and he gave me half of it, and we went to the Liam Arms in Streatham and just sat in there drinking all day because I didn't know what else to do.
Nah,
Just
I bet that at the time, I bet that was actually you thought this is fucking sick.
what good
Yeah, like good. I bet you
winning
thought
the
you were having
money.
a great day because you won money and you're sitting in a pub and that and you're pissed.
Probably in the evening, I felt the inhibitions had gone. Like I didn't care about it, but in the morning, even when the realization kicked in that we'd won the money, I was like, I'd had about 70 missed calls from my boss and this project
Oh,
manager. I was,
anxiety through the roof.
oh mate, like, and the only thing that could soothe that was sitting in the Liam Arms all afternoon.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
The safe house.
yeah, the safe house. It's a
That
lovely
brings
little pub, actually.
that brings me. I mean, I've got a story like that as well. I'm not gonna go on about it, but yeah, I've had a night where I got fucked up with this geezer, sat in my flat, which I eventually got evicted from. But I won a grand, or we won a grand on the TV roulette.
What?
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, you'll have
grand.
to tell me that. We'll have to do
Yeah,
an episode on
yeah,
roulette winnings.
yeah. But the next thing that's improved for me outrageously in a good way is my mental health.
Oh, mate, yeah.
I always say I feel like a scouser but
Please don't tell me that you're one of them.
but yeah, I used to get horrendous anxiety, horrendous, to the point where I've said this before. Monday, don't expect to see me at work on a Monday, and be lucky to see me on Tuesday. Because my anxiety would be so fucking bad. I would feel more so like the physical symptoms, literally feeling like I'm just gonna shake and explode or have a fit or something because I
Yeah.
just could not deal with it. And I couldn't even put the anxiety symptoms into words, but it was that bad because I've done that much booze from Friday to Sunday, not thought about work once or any responsibilities once, done some drugs, and then it just hits you like a brick wall on late Sunday evening, and you think, "Fuck, what the fuck have I been up to again?"
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Just weekend after weekend, year after
Yeah,
year of feeling like
yeah,
that. No, really. I know. I felt the same, man.
yeah.
You speak a lot about your anxiety. So how has that changed? Like, do you still get anxious? How do you cope with it? Do you think
I
it's a?
I feel like I get anxious about normal things now.
Mhm.
Anxiety is a normal thing, and sometimes it can be a good thing, like that whole fight or flight thing. But I still do have days where I get a little bit of anxiety, but not crippling anxiety to the point where I can't even speak to the Deliveroo man for a time without feeling like I'm gonna fucking faint.
Yeah.
But
Like,
it's just improved so much. I couldn't even get my hair cut without having to have a drink. If I was to get my hair cut, I'd have to go to the shop, buy a few cans, and then pray that I could sit there for half hour, 45 minutes without having a panic attack. Just
wow.
because I felt trapped because I was in this chair and I couldn't drink. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 I, that reminds me of like long bus journeys and stuff and
Yeah.
train journeys. The
Oh,
absolute need to know you've got enough to get to the end of the trip to then walk into the office when you get off the
yeah.
train.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
It's the mental health and depression as well, because
yeah.
they go hand in hand, but the anxiety and how you feel after a weekend of fucking your life up again, getting absolutely nothing done, it's
Hmm.
nothing but shame, guilt, mad depression. I started thinking, what actually is the point of life? What's the point?
Hmm. Yeah.
And that's worrying when you think about how lucky we are to for a substance to make you feel that fucking bad. And then comes to Wednesday and I'm like, I'm never doing that again. Never putting myself through that again. Thursday, excited for the weekend. Let's go again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy,
I
man.
am never doing that again apart from tomorrow.
Yeah. 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 So I'd have to drink to not feel like that. Now I've done, I've climbed a couple of mountains. I get the piss taken out of me now for climbing mountains because they're like,
Yeah.
oh, look at me, I'm sober, I'm climbing mountains, which is funny. But yeah, I've done a lot of things which I never would have been able to do without drinking because I'd be worried about being anxious or too anxious to do it. So it's crazy that. Crazy. Did you
And that,
used to get bad mental health then? Like,
oh, I mean, my mental health was shit for
yeah,
15 years. I mean, shit. Like, I was depressed out of my mind. All like, I was either drunk or sober. And if I was sober, I was miserable, stressed, anxious. And if I was pissed, I was grand.
yeah, Jack the Lads, thinking you're the man.
Look at me, mate. Look at me.
Yeah,
Like,
absolute false persona, shell of a man.
yeah. I mean, I maybe do myself a disservice because I do feel one of my closest friends said to me after he'd seen me at the end of my drinking, not maybe 6 months, and then I moved away and I drank for another 6 months, and then he saw me a couple of years later when I moved to Barcelona, English lad. We were living, we lived together, and he said, "I think the biggest compliment I can pay you, Gary, is this is for people listening. This is a good thing. You're exactly the same person, but you just don't
Yeah,
drink."
yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, thank God," because I thought I said a couple of weeks ago, I was like, "Oh yeah, I was fucking hilarious after 6 pints," and it turns out I'm hilarious with no pints. So that was excellent news, you know.
You do. That's so weird because I used to get so worried about. I'd think so long term about not drinking, and I'd feel like I'm not going to know who the fuck I am. And a
Mm.
lot of people now who do drink and that and go to events and all that bollocks will think I'm a boring bastard because I don't go out and do that shit anymore. But the fact that you're still the same person, just less of a twat,
Hmm.
is amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
You keep all the benefits of yourself, but you get
Hmm.
rid of all the shit.
All those traits that make you you, that are positive, are still there, but you've stripped away all the, you know,
Yeah, all the bad shit.
all the ugly stuff that you
Yeah,
didn't ask for, that you couldn't push away.
yeah,
Yeah, mental health, unreal difference. Financial health, physical health, mental health, you name it, you name it.
yeah, yeah.
There is
So
no part of my life that is worse. There is no part of my life that is worse now than it was when I was drinking.
no. So you think about it. If and this again, I'd like to cement the fact that we're not preachers. We're not like all completely fucking no alcohol, blah blah blah. But if you do have a problem with booze and you are thinking, is it worth doing? You'll have more money, better mental health, better physical health, better relationships with your family, and that's just touching the surface, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we've not even gotten close to
Scratching the
getting
surface.
deep. Huh?
No, I said the wrong phrase. It was scratching the surface, isn't it? I think.
As long as the surface hasn't got loads of cocaine on it, who cares?
um, yeah. So benefits fucking galore.
Yeah, I found like random little things that I thought, I don't know, like just that finding myself. was amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was it a delayed process or what am I trying to say? I'm not making much sense here, but just understanding yourself because you can't really understand your true feelings and emotions
No.
when you're in that kind of state because you've got two things: sober or sleeping, and drunk or in the process of getting drunk.
Yeah.
And there's no like real internal sensible chat with yourself when you're in that state.
No.
Like you can't plan for the future, you can't take advantage of the present, you can't like deal with the past if you're in that state. It's
No.
not possible. So I've found I've done more maturing as a man in the last 10 years than I did, well, even in the first 3 years of getting sober than I did in the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's because when things aren't going your way in life, your cop out was have a drink. So you're never, ever, ever dealing with any kind of uneasiness or emotion without using alcohol. So you're not actually doing it yourself. It's the
Yeah.
booze doing it for you. So the problem never goes. So I know exactly what you mean about finding yourself. You don't want to come across as some weird like spiritual guru, but I know exactly what you mean. To find yourself, realize what you can do without using booze is an amazing thing because obviously we are stronger than what we think. We don't need to have a fucking drink.
I agree with what that last thing you said. I had no idea how strong I was or how I could be. After
Yeah,
about a year of being sober, I thought to myself, "You are a fucking mind machine, man." I realized what I'd been through. I didn't even realize when I was drinking what I was going through. I just thought, "Oh, my life's shit because I drink too much." And then, 18 months, 24 months into sobriety, I thought, you're fucking something, man. Like, how did you get through
yeah,
that?
yeah,
And now you're rebuilding your life and you're still holding on for dear life and you're still, you know, improving every day and you're understanding yourself better. So you need to back yourself.
yeah,
Listeners,
man.
back yourself. You will be all right, man. No matter how fucked up it is. Though there's no getting pissed against no solution.
No. And jokes aside, I know I banter so like a lot with you about it, but think about how different your life could have been if you didn't quit alcohol 10 years ago. I mean, again, we've known each other a couple of weeks, couple of months,
Yeah.
but
I haven't
I,
even met each other. I feel like
yeah,
I've known you all my life.
I know. I highly doubt you would be a happy family man if you didn't decide to quit drinking 10 years ago,
No
which
chance.
I think is the ultimate achievement. The fact that you've got happy, healthy children and you're a good dad. I just think that is I don't think anything can top that. Do you know what I mean? Being present for your kids. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Like I think when you have a kid, you realize almost that day no, not almost that day you become the secondary or third most important person in your life,
Yeah.
alongside your partner. And I don't know, that's quite liberating because you spend as an alcoholic. I think you spend so much time being selfish, and you spend so much time thinking about your next move and because it's survival mode, isn't it? Really, alcoholism is living in survival mode,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
scrimping and scraping and like grabbing onto the next day.
Yeah.
Um, to be able to just like relinquish that stress and that I don't know misery, and then relinquish your own importance and just put it down the list. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does.
It's a very deep thing, like
It is deep. Yeah. But I feel like as again, that's another thing that happens when you do become sober. You you do start talking about more deeper things and thinking deeper about life and appreciating things so much more that
yeah.
at the start it can be fucking overwhelming because you've not had to think before without.
I think that's relapse. That's why people relapse so much because the
Yeah.
emotions are so powerful because
Yeah.
oh God, oh this is uncomfortable. I've never dealt with this sober before.
Exactly.
Let's just have a drink. So, oh fuck it,
Exactly.
I've done 17 days, but I can't deal with this emotion today. But
Exactly.
you have to,
Yeah.
and you have to get to day 18 because day 48 will be easier.
Exactly.
It's just an upward curve.
Yeah.
And even though a part of the next day might be a bit shit, the curve is still going upward, and
Yeah.
you just don't know it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So it's funny you say that because the curve can be going upwards and then it can have a little dip or a big dip, and you think, "Fuck me, I'm back at square one again," which is the point where a lot of people would cave and have a drink. But what you don't know is if you don't have a drink, that goes straight back up again.
100% true. And yeah, because that curve, what you don't realize is that the dips you had the day before that you survived has meant that it's gone back up again.
We're like, who do we think we are? Fucking stockbrokers or something?
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
crypto traders.
I'm glad I'm not a crypto bro. I'd
Yeah, that.
rather be an alky.
Yeah.
Probably as broke as each other now, all those crypto bro cunts.
Yeah. Yeah, mate. Yeah, no, the benefits I never thought it would be, and not even 2 years in. Yeah, you said there's more for me, more to come for me,
Oh yeah, man.
which is mind blowing, really, because I didn't expect to be able to have a normal life. I just thought this is it,
Yeah, how depressing.
and like you said, survival mode. Every day is how the fuck am I going to get a tenner for beers today?
Yeah.
How am I gonna get enough? Well, how am I gonna get my hands on booze today? You know
Mm.
what I mean, crazy,
Yeah,
absolutely crazy.
crazy when I think when it's as extreme. I think it's very useful for people to listen to us talk about how we wondered where we could get £6.80 to get enough beers to get not even pissed to medicate, and then to hear us laughing and being emotionally successful because
Yeah.
we're emotionally successful compared to our past, aren't we?
Oh fuck me, yeah.
I mean,
Fuck me, yeah. I couldn't really have relationships with anyone. Like I'm not talking about just romantic relationships. That is another thing. I couldn't.
mm,
I don't think I pulled for 5 years, but um, yeah, you can't have relationships. The only time I could actually have a proper conversation was when I was half cut because I felt like talking then.
hmm
Whereas other than that, my sole focus is trying to work out how the fuck or who the fuck is going to lend me money so I can get the biz.
yeah, yeah. That's even that another thing. Another thing that improves is, or maybe it's a realization. You think, oh, I'm way more charming and captivating sober. you know.
Maybe, maybe not for me.
Yeah, I think you got to trust yourself sober, haven't you? At the beginning, it's hard. It's like, oh God, this is new. I don't know if I can do it. But you have to trust yourself. You have to trust the future version of you that you are creating now, because it's coming, man. It's coming.
Yeah. Well,
And
do you know? I don't know if you've already said this, but do you know anyone that's ever regretted going sober?
I don't know anyone, and I don't believe there is anyone. Just not having that. I don't believe it.
No.
How can do you reckon Charlie Sheen's happier now that he's been sober for 5 years?
That's weird you say that. I thought about Charlie Sheen the other day. I was thinking the last time I heard from him, he thought he had like tiger blood or something and thought he was
yeah, yeah,
invincible. But
yeah.
I hadn't heard nothing of him. I didn't
Well,
know if he was dead or not.
no, he's sober. He's been sober for 5 years or 6 years or something. She's gone quick, but I remember the Tiger Blood thing, and he was doing, and there was that remix, the funny remix song. If you haven't seen it, I'll send it to you. But if Charlie, there you go. Maybe we'll end it here. If Charlie fucking Sheen can get sober, what is your excuse?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I
come
mean, I know the
on,
geezer's got dough for rehab and that, but
mate. There's no amount of money that if you're Charlie Sheen and you get sober,
yeah,
there's no excuse. There's no excuse for other people, man.
no, no, 100%, 100%. But
Charlie
yeah,
Sheen.
no negatives, only benefits to it. I can't think of any other things that could top it, really.
No, I think we've covered the most important ones, and obviously, looked at the other side of that element of your life and made the comparison, and the comparison's important because life is tough, life is hard. Loads of hard and horrible things have happened to me in the last 10 years, but I've managed to cope with them like a breeze, because like you become mega resilient if you're in survival mode for all that time. And when you do get sober, you've got this like unknown reserve of internal strength that you just didn't know you had. You can just channel it into a different way now, as opposed to like finding a mate to lend you £8 to go and get to be Mr. Magnum Man in the local shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, mate. Not the
So
proudest nickname, but no more. No more.
oh well, it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
Exactly.
mate.
Reconcile with the past and let it go.
Exactly that. Exactly that.
Cool, man. We'll leave it there for week 3.
Good man. Perfect.
Safe. Craig, so we can be found on Instagram at the Sober Stretch, where we'll be posting shorts and reels of the content from this, and you can get all the information and the links to the YouTube and Spotify accounts of the Sober Stretch. You also have your own individual ting, don't you?
Yeah, it's at live without limits _coaching.
Sound.
Tips and tricks and shit about sobriety and exercising, basically.
Nice. Mine is at sober and sound, sober letter N sound, and mine's all tips and tricks on how to stay sober and not be a knobhead.
What's not to love?
Yeah, man. Follow all 3 accounts, you bastards. We love you.
Good man.
Sound.
Catch you later, bro.
Peace. Take it easy.
Bye.